Hello, I have some random stuff I'm just going to throw together to make a short video today. A couple tips or tricks or whatever. All right, number one, when you have a battery that doesn't balance very well, put an X on it so that you don't put it on a parallel board with other batteries and it makes them suck, right? So when you parallel charge, you're effectively limited by your weakest or worst battery. And if you have one that doesn't balance well, you're just pumping current through the other batteries that are on the same board, and those will eventually get weakened, or at the very least, it'll take a much longer time to balance the entire parallel board because this one battery is bad. So now I can parallel charge the good batteries quickly, and this one I just marked that it needs to be done individually. Not a big deal, but if that were to go really south, it could make my other batteries catch fire. All right, second thing, this is sort of a hobbled together just hodgepodge of broken equipment. This is the bottom plate from some frame I don't use anymore. It has an A on it, so it might have been an old Armaton or something. This is a PDB, if you remember when PDBs used to exist. Right there. And then this is an old Unify that I managed to smash the button off of. And I also managed to rip off the UFL connector, and I kind of had to just solder it back on there. So this is pretty much useless because it's a soldered on dipole with a button that could fail at any time. But I hook it up to this cheap PDB that I'll never use, and this frame that I probably never built at all. And now I have this awesome video test system. So every time I buy a new camera, first thing I do, I just take it out of the box and I plug it in. And I now have this awesome camera test system. I can make sure it works, and I can remove the OSD before it even, just buy it, take it out of the box, take the OSD off, and then put it back. All right, so here is my, oh look, it's pointing at me, beautiful. That's not. Yeah, here's my video screen that I use. You can see I just sort of did something. I think I shorted it to itself, actually. I should not do that. So I can use this for focusing. I can use it for OSD removal. I can use it to make sure the camera works, and then I can just sort of put it in the box knowing I have a good camera. One thing a good camera is good for is building a new pod. So what I'm going to do is I have this pod that I got from a buddy of mine named Casey, and it is just the normal X version of my favorite Plus pod. Same designer on Thingiverse made it. So what I can do, what I'm going to do, is just pull this pod off, the pretty pink one, and then put this clear one on. Everything else is identical. I'm not going to change the tune. I'm not going to change I guess I'm going to have to change the yaw offset so that this flies like an X quad and not like a Plus quad. And then I can compare. I know this flies exactly like every other quad I have. That's a plus, so I can compare only the orientation and see if it makes a difference. I'm going to guess it actually doesn't, but in the past I did this and it did make a difference. That's when I was on stretch quads though. So the stretch plus versus the stretch X was noticeable. Now we're going to see if the standard plus or the pure plus versus the pure X makes a difference. If it doesn't make a difference, I'll just stick with what I have because I like it, but at least I'll understand where my preferences come from and not just making stuff up. I really like one variable experiments, and that's what this is going to be. That's it. Thanks for hanging out. Later.